Boubacar Traore is a physically impressive pass rusher with the raw tools and traits to develop into a long-term NFL starter.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I'm Damian Parson. On today's episode, I am breaking down Notre Dame's number one edge rusher, Boubacar Traore. I'm going to explain the grade that I have for him, talk about the concerns a little bit later with his NFL draft profile, but let's start off with the pros, the things he did well on film coming off of the 2025 college football season, heading into the 2026 college football season. Boubacar Traore is listed as 6'5", I'm sorry. He's listed as 6'5", 250 pounds, coming off a nice season, a solid season for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 6.5 sacks, 6 QB hits, 15 total pressures, as well as a one fumble forced. Funny stat, he's forced a fumble in each of the last 3 seasons, and he's only played over 150 snaps one time, and that was in 2025. This is a guy that has the physical. He's a physically impressive guy. I said in the opening, he's physically impressive. 6'5", 250 pounds. He is lean. He's strong. He's cut. You could tell he works out. He takes care of his body. He looks like a guy that can wreak havoc off of the edge, right? Number 5 for Notre Dame. And this is a guy that has enough first step quickness. I think he has really high football IQ. Watching him play the mesh point on zone reads, right? Reading the backfield action, rarely getting fooled and losing the ball rather than locating it, chasing it down and making a play. He's a very disciplined edge rusher, especially in college. And you don't see it a lot in the NFL with the QB zone reads and stuff like that, because most times these NFL OCs are not putting their quarterbacks in those situations, right? Unless you're physically built for that, like a Jalen Hurts. We saw early in Anthony Richardson's career with the Colts when he was having success as a rookie before he ultimately got hurt. He was doing some of those type of things, right? I think Jaden Daniels may have done. We've seen Lamar Jackson do it. You might catch I think I've seen Bryce Young, like Dave Canales, dial it up and just catch a defense off guard because you're not expecting to see that much in the NFL. But in college, you should see it quite a bit because you have much more athletic quarterbacks in college, and the college coaches are more prone to doing whatever it takes to win. So that means running my quarterback 25 times. Notre Dame went to the national championship, 2 years ago? And that was off of the legs and the back and the rushing ability of Riley Leonard. You know what I mean? I think it was Ohio State against Ohio State. They opened the drive for like 14 plays, and it was mostly Riley Leonard running the ball, right? But that's not something you see every team do, but they're more willing to do it in college football. He's really good at reading, reacting, and attacking in the mesh point and understanding, hey, playing to his responsibility. That's why I loved when I was watching him, to be completely honest, because Boubacar Traore did a good job of, hey, if I'm the backside in and he's reading me, you're going to have to hand that ball off, right? I'm not letting you get outside of me. I'm not losing my leverage. You're not getting around me, quarterback. You're explosive. You're dynamic. I just can't let it happen, right? And having a backside end who plays those concepts so well with high football IQ, with the discipline, with the vision, again, to read, react, and attack, but not just read, react, and attack. I love how he's able to locate the ball. So, hey, you talking about him forcing the quarterback, because the zone read is really to complicate things for defenses. I'm reading your backside in. You have to make a decision, right? If you take this running back and you give my quarterback the edge, listen, my quarterback's 4'4". He's getting out there, he's making plays, right? And now that 5-yard run from the running back turns into a 25-yard run from my QB. But when you have a guy like Boubacar Traore who's so good at sitting, being patient, staying square, and waiting, right? Waiting it out, waiting until you hand the ball off or you keep it, he forces the quarterback to turn it into a traditional rushing play and rushing concept inside zone and he triggers down the line, right? Functional athlete. There's a play against Arkansas where Arkansas runs, like they ran, I think, a wide receiver, a jet motion wide receiver sweep, jet sweep. And it was a fast jet sweep too. And he's working, he fires off the ball. I believe he's unblocked, and he works upfield. He's about to take too many steps into the backfield. He stops on the dime, plants, redirects, chases the ball down, and chases the ball carrier down, the receiver, tackle for loss. Right. So love to see that. He's an active hands fighter. This is a guy in terms of hand-to-hand combat. He throws secondary and sometimes that third group of punches, right? Because of the fact that if the first attempt fails, he does not stop. He doesn't quit. He does not give up. And I love to see pass rushers have that motor to say, you know what? Yeah, my first attempt failed. My second, here's that third. Here's that fourth. Just set of punches and everything. And I feel like I feel like Boubacar Traore is a guy that can win in multiple ways, right? He gives you speed to power. Talking about being able to wide nine him, get him outside, flanking the outside shoulder of the tackle, and then trigger downhill and run through their chest plate, right? So having winning in multiple ways with speed to power, the long arm, right, with the bull rush, keeping the outside, and he does a good job keeping the outside hand free, maintaining outside leverage just in case it's a run or the quarterback tries to scramble out. Now I can disengage. I can let go. I can get to you without trying to just two-hand bull rush. Guy grabs my shoulder pads, and now I got to hope that the ref throws a flag if he holds me, right? But he also showcased an inside spin move where he attacks that outside shoulder upfield and then spins back inside. He's right there in the face of the quarterback, especially the pocket passers who want to step up in the pocket. Then he gives you a long arm over move back inside as well. So he can win the outside track, but he also showcases enough ability to win the inside track. So when you're looking at Boubacar Traore, 6'5", 250, well-built, right? This is a guy that has the requisite power. He has a good first step as well. And he plays from both a three-point stance, like hand in the dirt, and as a stand-up outside linebacker edge rusher. But here's the thing, too. Watching him, I'm going to tell you guys, he drops off in the coverage, and he looks fairly comfortable, right? I'm not telling you drop him curl or flats, even hook curl a lot, but you tell him, hey, you hard flats, you right there in the flats, he can drop there. He can drop there with no problem and make the requisite and necessary plays to where, hey, you're talking about throwing bubble screens and things of that nature. If you're running some type of concept where you're dropping him off to that, if he's on the strong side, and they got trips and they want to throw that bubble screen, that wide receiver screen, he's the type of guy that can redirect and absolutely blow that play up for either no gain or a couple yards loss. Talented player, physically impressive. And he's got the tools. He has the tools and the traits, strength, the size, the arm length, the height, the weight. I think, again, the get off, I think he can put pressure on opposing offensive tackle. There's a play against Miami. I believe it was against Miami. First game of the season. He battled with Francis Maui Noah. I would say Maui Noah probably won that battle. He's just that good. But he fared well, in my opinion. But there's a play where they leave him unblocked, and it's a play action. They're sending the backside guard as a puller to try and sell the run action. And he attacks the pulling guard and then hits him with just a sudden dip and bend. And he's right there to the quarterback, to Carson Beck. But Carson got the ball out a little quicker than he expected. But he showcases, flashes a little bit of dip and bend that, with momentum. He's a momentum dip and bend guy for sure. That, hey, once he's working upfield, he can hit you with the move, dip underneath your punches and get to the quarterback. But coming up next, guys, we got to talk about the concerns, right? We talk about the good things, some of the things that might be bad, some things that can hold him back from being the starter in the NFL or a long-term starter. That and more coming up next. Today's episode is sponsored by Square. If you've ever tapped to pay and thought, whoa, that was fast, it was probably Square. Whether you're selling lattes, cutting hair, running a packed game day spot, or managing a design studio, Square helps you run your business without running yourself into the ground. Square is the platform behind the scenes of so many businesses you already love. One connected system to take payments, manage inventory, run payroll, and track it all in one place. There's nothing worse than missing a big play during the game because you're stuck waiting to pay. The spots that run on Square never have that problem. Quick checkouts, easy receipts, sometimes even loyalty points. Love that. If you're starting a business or already running one that deserves better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down. Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/LockedOnNFL. That's SQUARE.com/GO/LOCKEDONNFL. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone work toward the same goal. That's true in sports, just like it is in business. I mean, look at the Seattle Seahawks, guys. They made the right move by going and getting Sam Darnold and drafting Nick Emenwari, and this team played together with one goal in mind, and that was making the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/locked-on. That's odoo.com/locked-on. Breaking down the concerns for Boubacar Traore, edge rusher for Notre Dame. And I kind of, let's pick up where I left off. I talked about how, against Miami, he had a play where he showed a little, suddenness and dip and bend around the pulling guard, right? He had momentum. He's able to work around that guy. Well, that was fine. But when he's just as a natural pass rusher against a tackle one-on-one, in that same game, I watched him against Francis Mawinoa. Yes, a top 15 pick in the 2026 NFL draft. He tried to sell an inside little head fake and dip and bend and get underneath, Mawinoa's hands and get underneath his punches, and it didn't work. He really didn't. He didn't drop his hips. He didn't sink his hips. It looked much more rigid than fluid. Right? Again, one against the guard where he sees the pulling guard working his way across the formation, and then he attacks and then dips right underneath that guy's head, but he has momentum, right? Against Francis, he's working and it's one-on-one. It's not a guy, you're using the guard's momentum against him. Like, it's one-on-one. Can you get by him? And he struggled in that situation. So for me, I look at his hips. He does not have what I would classify as premium or premier bend, premier dip and bend to run the arc, run that M, right? That M back into to the pocket, work the outside shoulder, work the outside arc. I don't see that with Boubacar Traore. I see him as a guy that he has good hands, he's strong, has the frame, the length, and a wingspan and all of that. But when you're talking about just finesse, I would like to see him add more. As a pass rusher, I would like to see him add more quick and finesse wins to his NFL draft portfolio and profile. Because watching him, and when you see teams that emphasize the quick game, I'm talking about 3-step drops, even some 2-step drops out of shotgun. Ball, back foot hits, ball is out, right? Quarterback is getting the ball out of their hands. One thing I noticed is that you can neutralize him because he's not a quick, just a quick explosive winner for off the edges, right? Around the arc, around the corner. He's a guy that speed to power, things of that nature. And like I said, he does have a spin move that I liked. I like to see him use it more often, right? But that also comes into, just setting things up, right? It's just like receivers. We tell receivers, hey, make everything look like a 9 route, make everything look like a go route until it's not. That's salesmanship, right? Even with your slants, you take 2 steps upfield and it's violent, it's intentional, it's decisive. That corner thinks you're about to run a takeoff, run a go route. Then you boom, boom, drop your hips and plant and go, and you're cross face and you're on your slant, right? Or your in breaker, your comeback route, your curl route, whatever route it is. You want to sell it to make it look like a vertical until it's not a vertical, right? And it'll look like a fade until it's not a fade. Same thing for pass rushers, man. Like watching Watching Boubacar Traore, I saw a guy that how to put this? Like, to me, he lacks a rush plan a lot of times. Watching him, I would like to see him rush with an intentional plan because he has too many reps where he has choppy / stutter steps, choppy footwork, stutter steps as he's firing off the ball. So ball is snapped. So just gotta paint the visualization, guys. I'm taking you into the VR, the virtual reality realm with me here. Follow me. Ball is snapped. He takes that first step off the ball. Now, instead of it being another second violent step, that first step gets him upfield, and then he's kind of pops up. So a pad level duration is another issue. So he pops up early out of the stance, and then you see him just kind of, it's like a running back where they say, hey, stop tippy-toeing in the backfield, right? Find a lane, pick a lane, hit the lane. It's like that. He just kind of, you start seeing him like take lateral steps, and now you stop your forward momentum. And I want to see him eliminate that, cut that, stop that entirely. When you take that first explosive step, pair it with another explosive step, but then have a plan of what move or maneuver you're going to use to beat that offensive tackle. I think he has a high ceiling. I think there's more upside to him. But to me, watching him, his process overall, he's still a raw from a mental standpoint, in my opinion, pass rusher. He's still a raw pass rusher where there isn't a plan. I always talk about it, for the last couple years, 3 years we've been on this pod. Being on the field at the Senior Bowl, watching Jermaine Johnson, who is now with the Tennessee Titans, who was drafted with their third first-round pick that year to the New York Jets. Watching him dominate the tackles at the Senior Bowl, and by the second step, he knew, I'm going to hit you with the inside spin. I'm going to double hand swipe you. His hands are down, and then he fires a long arm and just drops a guy. Or fires a long arm and clubs the outside hand, right? That's a combination. Long arm with the club, long arm with the rip. Like, he just knew how he wanted to get there. His process was so advanced and nuanced in one-on-ones where he looked like one of the best pass rushers in the class, right? And everything. And he's had a solid career, battled some injuries and whatnot in New York. We'll see how it goes for him in Tennessee. But that's what I want. Like, for me, that's what is a big thing. That's what I want to see from Boubacar Traore. Like, for Traore, by that second step, you need to know how you're going to attack that offensive lineman. I saw you against a top 12, top 15 pick in Francis Maui-Noah, and you had some moments, but yeah, I give that. I tip my cap and I say who won that battle was Francis Maui-Noah. So when I look at him overall in terms of Traore, rush plan, like eliminating the choppy, like just the choppy footwork, the stutter steps, the indecisiveness, let's remove that. Being intentional with your rushes, and then pad level duration. Again, and here's the thing too, let's talk pad level. His pad level is only a problem for me when he's rushing from a 2-point stance. When he's rushing from a 3-point stance or a 4-point stance, meaning his hand is in the dirt like a traditional defensive end, his pad level stays low. It stays low, and he's in his drive phase longer, right? So he's driving right into offensive lineman and then working his way up. Okay. Again, as I like to explain it, I like to watch guys pad level similar to how you're supposed to run the 40. Your first, 10 yards or 5 to 10 yards or whatever the case may be, maybe 15, it's the drive phase, just like in track. You don't see guys running the 100-meter dash and immediately one step out of the blocks, I'm as tall as a tree. I'm as tall as a great oak. Right? No, that's not what no, God, no. You see the guys stay in the drive phase, fire off, fire through, and then work their way into an upright posture. When he's in a 2-point stance, because he is 6'5", he's 250. I'm talking about if he, that's what he's listed at, right? So if he is a legit 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", okay, cool. And you're in a 2-point stance. He's not in the 2-point stance, low, like shoulders over the toe, over the front toe, and just charged up, ready to fire, right? He's more stand up, got the lead foot out, and he's in a standing up posture. So then you fire off, you're already high, you're already upright, so chest is all, exposed, and now it's easier to strike you and counter strike you. rather and if he's lower and now he gets to fire off. And I think that'll help him get around the corner a lot better too. Because it's not that he can't get around the corner. He showcased that he can get around the corner, but it's just a pad level that's going to help you be able to sell those vertical steps to make that tackle. Man, he's been getting me with speed. He's been hitting me with speed. The last 4 third downs, the last 4 third and longs, man, he's hit me with speed rush. He's trying to get around the corner. I got to jump set him. I got to get out there. So he jump sets you. Now you see that you got him exactly where you want him. Euro step, inside, double hand swipe. You're right to the quarterback. Sack. You know what I'm saying? Or you hit him with that first violent step up field. He jump sets you. Spin move back inside. Sack. Pressure. Whatever. And that's going to be a big thing for me with him is just what is your response to really good tackles in this situation? Because again, you can't power through everybody, and he's such a hard player. He hustles. The motor is great. I love that about him. But when you don't have, because again, you're 6'5", you nice muscle brown frame, like he's a well-built young man. I don't expect him to hold 90 degrees. I can't fix my hand that way. Whatever's 90 degrees. I can't expect him to Von Miller 90-degree angle bend around the corner. I'm not expecting that. Can Myles Garrett do? Myles Garrett isn't from here, okay? Simple as that. He's not human. I don't know what else to tell you guys, okay? He's an alien. He won't tell you, but I'll tell you. He's not one of us. Because you shouldn't be his size, his frame, his weight, all body type, and be able to do the things that he's able to do as a pass rusher. Just different, okay? All right? Maybe he's AI. I don't know. But the point is, he's not like anybody else. He's an elite, just different breed, different caliber, man. But most guys built like that or built like 6'5", 250, 255, they're not bending around the edge. So I think that's going to be a big thing for me. He's also a guy I don't want rushing against interior offensive linemen. He gets stuck on those blocks against those more powerful blockers. Because when you think about interior, those guys are dealing with more powerful players, right? The D tackles are more powerful than pretty much majority of the defensive ends. That's just the nature of the beast. These guys are 310-pound plus, and yeah, those are power punchers, power players. So when he tries to, yes, I don't mind him looping off of a twist and stunt, but if you tell him to slant and attack that left guard or that right guard, no, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather him work one-on-one. I want to wide nine him, create that island opportunity, and I want to give him give him 2 lanes where we wide nine him. He gets to square that tackle up. He's got an inside lane. He's got an outside lane. By that second step, tell me which way you're going. Know where you want to go and attack it. There's some rawness to his game that needs to improve, but I think if he does that, he's going to be just fine. But guys, listen, talk about the concerns. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you why he's not a first-round pick, but I graded him pretty decently, and I think that he could move himself up if he works on some of the things we talked about. So we're going to explain the grade, and I got some interesting comps and body types NFL-wise that we need to discuss. So that and more coming up next. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We talk about mental health more openly now, but asking for help can still feel hard, and BetterHelp's latest research confirms it. BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans and revealed that 85% believe getting support is wise, yet 74% says society discourages people from doing so. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform with over 30,000 therapists globally and has helped more than 6 million people connect with support. I truly believe most people would encourage someone else to talk to a therapist and get help. But when it's ourselves, in the hot seat, it's harder. Sometimes hearing someone else normalize getting support is enough to make the first step feel approachable. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start with therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up today and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lockedon. That's betterhelp.com/lockedon. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen of the day, and thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in America. It's all because of you, our everydayers. Guys, let's talk about it. Explaining the grade for Boubacar Traore, the 6'5", 250-pound edge rusher from Notre Dame, against 6.5 sacks last year, 15 total pressures. 6 QB hits and a fumble force in 2025. I walked away after watching him. It was a little difficult because I really liked the frame and the power, the speed, the power, the IQ, how he handles the zone read and everything, the discipline to sit backside, read the action before attacking, right? I love that he is someone that is just an intelligent football player. He sets hard edges versus the run. I'm talking about stacking, locking out, peeking, shedding, finding the football. He anchors well on the edge as well. Like, he's a guy that the floor is already set to me for him just as a run defender. He's going to be able to set hard edges, defend the run. He does a good job of using that inside arm. And I'm talking anchor from the lower body, feet dug into the ground, that inside hand, because he usually rushes off the left side. So or attack off the defensive left side. So he's shooting his right hand and the left arm is still free. So he can detach and make a play on the ball. The running back or quarterback or whoever bounces the run outside. So listen, all of that is there. Active hand fighter, right? A guy that knows how to, he's rarely fooled. I talk about locates the ball, right? He reads, reacts, and attacks the mesh point versus zone reads, or just period of making the quarterback have to hand the ball off because he's sitting there waiting. So, because with all that good thing said, I just talked about, pad level and all that. I gave him a late second round pick, could be late second, early third. I want to see some of that rawness be refined. Right, I want to see. It's like those. I don't know the name of the actual profession where they go in caves and they find jewels or whatever. It just, hey, it just needs to be refined a little bit, right? If that's the right analogy, I think I'm on the right track there. But yes, I want to see some of the rough parts of his game be refined. Right, I want to see that pass rush plan develop more this year. And again, and here's the thing: first year starter. First year true starter, if I'm not mistaken, because if you look at his I got his numbers pull up here. Total snap count: 2023, 27. 2024, 133. 2025, 470. So understand me when I say this, first year starter. So I expect him to get better. I want to see him get better because I truly believe this guy has potential to be a late first, if not a first round pick. When you check those boxes of long arms, tall, well-built, strong against the run, good first step off the ball, right? Converting speed to power. When you have the qualities and the plus marks in his scouting report right now, yes, those are things that teams are absolutely willing to bet on and want you on their team as a first-round pick. But we got to work on some things. So I give him a late second-round pick. I think late second is where I really want to play some man. And I thought about some comps, body composition and body type-wise. Josh Sweat for the Arizona Cardinals. Josh Sweat is 6'4" 3/4, 251 pounds per mock draftable. You can go to mockdraftable.com and look this up yourself. 6'4" 3/4, 251. He had a ridiculous wingspan of 84 1/8 with arm length of 34 5/8, right? Crazy 10 and 1/4 on the hand. And he ran a 4.53 with a 39-inch vert. It was ridiculous athlete, right? You know what I mean? A really good athlete. But I also thought about Joe Tryon Shoyinka, 6'5", listed at 259, 82 3/4 on the wingspan, 34 inches even on the arm. He ran a sub 4.7 with a 4.68. Not the most explosive guy, right? But he's more of a power player. And then you think about, this is the one I think he could absolutely become, and that's Kayvon Thibodeaux, 6'4", 254, 79.5-inch wingspan, 33 1/8 on the arm length, right? And he ran a 4.58 in the 40. So I do believe when you talk about when you talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux, and Kayvon, like 2023, when he's only played 17 games a full season once. That was 2023. Kayvon Thibodeaux had 11.5 sacks that year, if I'm not mistaken. 11.5 sacks. He's battled injuries, different things like that, so he's not really been completely available. And I think he's either going to get traded by midseason. I think he's still on the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. So I expect him to probably get traded midseason, or they let him walk into free agency and everything. He's a 25-year-old player, right? I think last year of his deal and everything like that. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's on another team in 2027. But he's still capable of getting you anywhere from 8 to 12 sacks a season. He just has to stay healthy. But again, Body type wise, I really think him and Kayvon are very, very similar in body types. Some of the lean midsection, strong, physical up top, and everything like that, plays with the requisite level of aggression but also being smart about it and not just running themselves out of plays and things of that nature. So they have controlled aggression. Yeah, I definitely think that Boubacar Traore could be a legitimate pass rusher, a guy that can get you, like I said, 8 to 12 sacks a season, maybe more, right? Because I think if he talking about refining, if he becomes more nuanced with his hands, because I think he's got good hand, again, active hand fighter. But you talking about rush plan, decisiveness, intention, and being explosive off the balls, that first step. But then also knowing, okay, this is how I'm gonna. You threw your punches first, cool. Now I know how to. I know I have different moves in my bag that I can utilize to clear you. Right. Again, as I always say, for the offensive line, defensive line, clear the hands, you clear the man. Same thing with corners and wide receivers too. So that's the big key for me is, hey, what am I getting out of this in this situation? Do you have the hand combat ability to throw multiple things and counters? Can you counter punch and not just, I got a body hook, right? No, I got a body hook that comes up with a hook up top that I can then throw that uppercut. I can hit you with a three punch combo off of a counter. Like, do you have those counters? And I want to see him develop that because I believe in his ceiling as a guy that could be a at least at worst a number 2 edge rusher, edge 2 on a team. I truly believe he can be an impact player and a long-term starter for an NFL team, but we got to see more growth from him. Run defense is going to be there, but I need to see more from the pass rush standpoint. What does that mean? I mean, why is that important? Because that's really going to be the reason he either reaches or misses his high ceiling off of his raw physical ability and tools. But that's the podcast. That's the show here on Locked On NFL Draft. Breaking down Boubacar Traore, the edge rusher for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, explaining the grade that I have for him, talked about the concerns I have for his NFL draft profile for 2027 going into the 2026 college football season. And then, as always, talked about the pros to start this show, the things I really like about this young man. As always, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Guys, coming up on Monday, I think we're going to get into the tight ends. We need to talk tight ends, man. We're going to talk to these tight ends because this might be one of those tight end classes that if you know, you know. It might be one of those ones, as the young kids say nowadays. It might be one of them ones, man. I'm looking forward to getting into the tape. Thibodeaux Green out of LSU. We probably should start with him, the big 6'6", 6'7" guy. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.